Happy Saturday, Risers. We hope you're all having a phenomenal weekend. Saagar and I are back with some of our favorite moments from the week. So author and Georgetown professor Trita Parsi joined us this week to talk about the current relationship between the Biden administration and Iran. We asked what signs of progress we should look for if they ever do come. Here's what he had to say.
Sign number one, to see clearly that the negotiations are not taking place publicly through spokespeople. Nothing wrong with them, of course, but that's not how to engage in this diplomacy. We need direct conversations between the Iranians and the U.S., not through microphones. So that's what I would like to see right away. And I think both sides need it. I think the Russians were quite clear on this. I think they made a good point. They said this is what they were worried about, that these type of public statements would stand in the way. What they need is to quickly talk to each other and figure out some sort of a choreography of how this is done in a way that enables both sides to save face. That can only be done in direct discussions between the two parties, cannot be done publicly.
Some mixed signals have been sent from the Biden administration about the JCPOA, saying that they're not going to lift sanctions before Iran gets back in. Well, that doesn't make sense. We're the ones that left the deal to start with, and there's a very condensed time frame here, so really important to have Dr. Parsi keeping our eye on that.
Yeah, and the clock is ticking there in terms of Iranian elections, so who knows how that's going to work out. All right, and founder of the No Excuses PAC, Corbin Trenti, joins us again to discuss the PAC's latest plans to primary moderate Dems like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. He's here responding to critics who say his idea is a suicide mission.
I think that's personally crazy. I don't think that Joe Manchin's the only person that could win a Democratic race in West Virginia. And if that were true, let's just cede that ground for a moment. What that means is what then? You just throw up your hands and say, well, when Joe Manchin's 77, the next time he's up for re-election, we're just going to hope that he wants to run, because he's already said that he's not sure he's going to run again in the first place. And, so I think that we've got to do the work right now of building back the brand of the Democratic Party, not just through through talking, but by doing, right? And I think that that's one of the things that I'm not really seeing from people like Joe Manchin. It's not like he's standing in the way of progress, fighting for West Virginia, fighting for more money, for, higher income, fighting for more industry, more investment. He's fighting against things. He's fighting against getting rid of the filibuster. He's fighting against a $15 minimum wage. He's fighting against $2,000 checks. It's just block, block, block. And I think that that's not really the way you're going to rebuild a Democratic Party that can win in states like West Virginia.
Yeah. Joe Manchin is out of step with West Virginia on these issues. I mean, that's the bottom line. Most people in the commentary think, it's a conservative state, so he's got to be conservative, without understanding that, it's a culturally conservative state.
Right.
But on economics, it's a very different picture. And he is out of step with where West Virginians are politically and what they need right now in this moment.
Obvious to anyone with a brain, but apparently they don't exist in national politics. So, whatever.
Finally, co-founder of Cornbread Hemp, Jim Higdon, joined me to talk about the legalization of marijuana on the state and federal level. He explained what Biden can do now to help the cause and why his assistance might not even be necessary to move the process along.
It's a very interesting question. One, while reading the Controlled Substances Act, it appears as if the president, through the attorney general, can remove any drug from the controlled substances list if the attorney general decides to. That's not something that the Obama Justice Department decided to do, but it seems like it's on the books that it could be done that way. But the good news is we might not have to see if the Biden administration will go that route. There seems to be some significant work being done in Congress, especially on the Senate side, that looks like this could be a priority this Congress.
It's wild how much public opinion has changed on this issue. I know we have a difference of opinion on this
I've
one.
resigned myself to this.
But
I think it's 26 states now that decriminalize, actually.
Yeah, I mean, South Dakota voted to decriminalize. It's wildly popular, as majority supporting among Republicans. And this is an area where, frankly, Joe Biden, his reluctance, he's very honest, he's wildly out of step with the Democratic Party, and he's out of step with the public at large. So
I actually think he's right to wait on the executive front, because when you have 26 states, majority of the states moving in a front, and then, I mean, it would be basic. I'm not sure about the controlled substances. I've heard that argument before. I know that when it comes down to it, the DOJ can choose enforcement. I'm not sure they can just remove something without an act of Congress. So it's just more complicated than I think he might have laid out. But look, I mean, this has been policy under Obama, Trump, Biden. Nobody is going into Colorado and busting like a
Remember when
woman's store.
Sessions pretended like he was going to do that?
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
All right, that does it for us. We're going to be back later today with the week that was in media screw-ups.
That's right. Hit the subscribe button. You don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well. Tomorrow, going to be back for another round of #RisingQs. See you all then.